Hello.
Greetings.
Greetings.
Happy
Hello.
Tuesday, everyone.
Happy Tuesday. Happy May the 5th. Revenge of the 5th.
Revenge of the Fifth.
Not May the 4th, but Revenge of the 5th. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of the Descript Q&A with the support team. It's me, Trevor. I'm on the support team.
I'm Salvatore, also with the support team.
And we are here every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time with, if it's not us, it's other members of the support team. And we are here for anybody, whether you are new to Descript, whether you are a seasoned veteran to Descript, or whether you've never heard of Descript and just stumbled upon this video. We are here to answer your questions live. If you see the chat on the right, I already see some chatter. Welcome back, TD8269. Greetings from Belgium. A ways away, but that's totally okay. This is for anybody and everybody, and we appreciate. I think we had some questions from you last week or the week prior, and we also have Alex in the chat, chatting out here. So feel free to add any questions into this chat on the right, and we will answer them live. We'll share our screen and demonstrate as much as we can from here. And we already see a question in there that we'll get to in just a moment. Some other resources for you if you don't quite get your answer answered here or just need a little bit more support when we don't have this session. We have a help center that is available, and we have walkthroughs, tutorials, troubleshooting guides, and all specific feature overviews there. We'll share some links in the chat a little bit later on. And this is on YouTube, and while you're on the YouTube channel, might as well just press subscribe there and take a look at all of our other collections of video tutorials, other reviews, announcements, and this webinar, as well as all of our webinars are available for replay following the live event. You can just go to the live tab and then rewatch any of those. We also have quite a few events that are upcoming that you can set a notification for, join, etc., and just see what other kinds of streams we have coming. We also have a growing community of Descript users on Discord, Reddit, and Facebook. We'll include a link in there to join the Discord community and visit the Reddit. You can ask us questions there. We have folks on our team that are pretty frequent there, but there's also a lot of other Descript users that are frequent to answer your questions there as well. And we also have another, as I mentioned on YouTube, we have a whole collection of live events upcoming, including a telethon next week. We might have a chance to talk about that later at the end of this session, but definitely keep an eye out for some other upcoming events. And if that doesn't help and you want to get in touch with us directly, you can visit if you're in the app, you can press the question mark at the top right and then press contact support to get in touch with us directly. You'll likely be first met with an AI agent, but if you just say human or agent or please get out of my face, robot, I want to talk to a person, any variation of those, you will get in touch with a member of the support team who is happy to help. So without further ado, is it ado like ADO or is it ADIEU?
I think it's ADIEU.
Is it?
French,
Okay.
right?
It's not like Shakespeare much ado about nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
It's ado. We just got it. It's adieu. Alex is saying it is ADIEU. Well, without further ado, imagine if I just pulled a Mountain Dew. Without further ado, let's get started. I think we already have some questions. Let's take them from the top. The first one is from TD8269. Can I add Google font? Oh, I can add Google fonts. Can I also add and use Windows fonts like Arial?
Good.
It's a great question. Why don't we open up Descript and show how to add some fonts?
Open it up. Let's get into a project here. Let me share my screen. The short answer is yes, you can absolutely upload custom fonts. You will need a font file like I believe it's TTF, OTF, or .WOFF format. But here's how to do that. So we're going to open up a blank project here, or actually an existing project. But
it's an existing blank project.
An existing blank project.
Which is not blank.
I believe you'll need to add some sort of text element first in order to do this. So we're just going to go to the Elements tab here to the right. And I'm just going to add a text element. And from here, we're going to go to Properties while this layer is selected. And then we're going to go to the font section here under text. And from here, we can upload your font file. So we can add fonts to the drive. So you would just upload your font file here, and it should populate in your drive for future use.
This, not sure if this is actually even relevant, but if you don't have like the rights to use the font or something, that might be a cause for concern if it's like a downloaded font. So just be careful about that. But all of the fonts in Descript should be fine to use, and same with Google Fonts. It's just if you are downloading from the internet, just make sure that you are able to use them or that they match your brandings, etc. From there. Awesome. Hope that answers that question here. And a follow-up question, I guess it's a brand new question, is how to fix lip sync issues in the editor. For example, in a show with 2 guests.
Great question. Yes, this would be a perfect project for that, since this was a rooms recording that we did with 3 guests. So it's going to be similar. Most likely, you'll have what's called a sequence in your project. That's when you have multi-track files that you need to combine in order to just have a single file in your script. We combine that into a virtual container called a sequence. And if you don't know how to do that, if you upload all of your files to your project here in the project tab, you'll just upload your multi-track files, and it should ask you if you want to combine it into a sequence. But if not, you can manually do so by just shift clicking on all of your files, and then you'll have the option to create a sequence. This was a rooms recording, so it automatically created one for me. So let's just open up the sequence editor, and you can either do that by right-clicking on the script to edit the sequence, or you could double-click on your script track in the timeline. And this is going to be a sort of a new editor window to see all of your multi-tracks. So we have Gabe, myself, and Trevor here. If the issue is specifically with the syncing of the lips, so it sounds like it might be per track. Let's say, for example, if my file had some sync issues where my audio is just slightly delayed or slightly ahead, there's a couple ways to fix that. You can detach the audio from this video file. So if you right click on myself, I'm going to detach audio. So now my audio track is on a separate lane. And this gives me the ability to move my audio file either to the left or right to compensate for that. So I can just trim the beginning if I need and just nudge the audio file over so it syncs better.
Oh, yeah.
Us.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, it was way off here by a couple seconds.
Let's discuss.
Yeah.
And I would just need to scoot that over. So that's probably the second easiest way. I forgot to start with the easiest way. If you
the AV offset.
The AV offset, yep. So
yeah.
if you click done and get out of here, you can go back to your project tab. And for that particular file that's having issues, you can right click or click on this menu dot button here, and you can set the AV sync offset. This is a similar thing that I just did manually, but basically you could just offset the audio here by milliseconds. So you could delay it or move it up, and you could just sort of play that back in preview.
Sometimes it takes a bit. Sometimes it takes a bit for this to play back.
Yeah.
I will say that the preview, that's definitely something I've noticed, is the preview for from this one takes a little bit to play back. But also we are streaming and you are sharing your screen. So could be using a little bit of the bandwidth from there.
Yes, that is a good point. So once you've adjusted that, you could play it back and sort of adjust from there to taste. But those would be my 2 main suggestions for fixing the sync of your audio and video. If it's just between the speakers themselves, I'm gonna undo this detach audio that I did. Then you would just move the tracks individually. So if Gabe was, talking over me when he should have just been a little bit before, you could just adjust their track individually and have them synced up like this. So hopefully that answers your questions.
And we got another one here coming in, which is question 3 from TD8269. If you add new text to the script with write, we get a black background for the video. How to fix this? Yeah,
Excellent question. I love this question.
Yeah.
Because I always have a hard time answering it. So I'm gonna open up a new composition with just Gabe here as an example for something that we're editing. So when we enter write mode, entering write mode means that we're creating new audio using AI. So that means it's just going to be speech generated by AI. So there's not going to be video attached to it. If you're editing an existing recording, like a video, you're going to want to use regenerate. And what regenerate does is it allows you to edit the recorded video or audio file if you have authorized a version of your voice to do that. So for Gabe here, for example, if I wanted to fix something you said, instead of instinct, maybe it's precinct, I could choose regenerate.
That'd be my first precinct.
My first precinct.
He was a cop. Was a beat cop.
Exactly. So regenerate allows you to edit existing recordings, and it keeps the video frames. And especially if you toggle on regenerate video, this keeps the video intact, and it even matches it with the new audio. If we're using write mode, this means that we're creating entirely new media using AI. So we would need to assign a speaker by clicking at, whether it be one of your custom AI speakers you've created or a stock speaker. And just by doing that, it'll have no video attached since we're just making audio. So this is specifically for creating new AI speech, and regenerates for editing existing recordings. So that's probably my best way to describe that. So hopefully that helps. If you're editing recordings, regenerate.
Yeah, using the write is just going to add new text. However, I will say that using write mode is probably good if you are creating it from scratch. So if you're just creating a brand new project, using write mode is what you would want to do, and then you can add the text in from there. Or if you're copying and pasting a large amount of text, using write mode is probably the best way to do that, and it'll just generate in chunks. But it won't generate video through write. Write mode will never generate video. You'll need to have your own layers and visuals from there, or you can use something like an avatar, which is how you can generate from that. But you can also use an avatar on pre-recorded audio as well. Let's go into the next question before someone asks us to demonstrate an avatar. We will. It's just
be happy to.
It always takes a long time.
Yes.
Okay. This is on the topic of AI speakers. How do I add my own audio from ElevenLabs that clone my own voice for the text?
Ooh.
Kind of two parts to this answer, I imagine.
Yes. So while we do have ElevenLabs as an AI speaker model, there's no way to import an existing voice from ElevenLabs directly to Descript. So you would have to create your own speaker in Descript. And how to do that is if you're in a new project, or you can also do this from the drive view. So let me actually go to the drive view, since this is probably the clearest way. You can go to your AI speakers, and you see I have one created here already. So this is where you would create your AI speakers. You would just click new speaker, and you would name it. I'll just call this Salvatore 2. And then you would just have to read this short prompt, and that'll be used to train an AI speaker based on your voice, or any collaborators that you have authorization to create a voice for. As while you can record, you could also upload a file. So let's say if you're working with someone in a different state, they could send you a recording of this prompt, and you'll be able to edit the recordings using regenerate. So that's really neat.
And just to add on, so if you have already pre-recorded, or if you have an AI speaker in something like ElevenLabs or another application, and like we don't have the capability to import that, but you can import an audio file that you generate from those projects. So if you have a fully several minute long project that you created in ElevenLabs or another AI speaker, I don't know what the other big one is right now. ElevenLabs is the what?
Yeah. HeyGen? Is that one?
Yeah, HeyGen, something like that. You can import those files, but we can show how to further customize now with ElevenLabs V3, which is an alpha, which you can add. what are they called? They're not tones.
I think it is tones
Tags?
now.
Is it
Tags,
tags?
tags and tones.
We can share a quick link. They're called tone tags.
Tone tags, very close.
Yeah, they weren't tones, they weren't tags, they are tone tags. So you can change this. We're in our settings right now.
Settings here. Click on your profile icon on the top right, and then you're going to want to go to AI models to make your default selections.
And then under AI speech, change that to V3. And why don't we show this real quick? Do we want to show a quick, basically what this does and how you can kind of customize from here? We don't have to choose. We don't have to use your voice. We can use our friend. Who's our friend? Vernon.
Yes,
Vernon.
I'm gonna add a stock speaker, Vernon.
So if you're unfamiliar, we have plenty of stock speakers that you can choose from to create AI speech with them. This is really great.
Look at me.
This is really great. Look at me. Now I want to make him laugh or something.
Oh, right. I forgot to add the tag.
Knee slap. Oh, well, we'll see how it sounds without the tag first, and then we'll add the tag.
Here it is.
This is really great. Look at me.
That's pretty good. I'm going to add a little. So you're going to add brackets to the beginning of this. And I believe
brackets or parentheses?
Parentheses. That's it. Laughs. There we go. I'm going to add a comma here because that was weirdly spaced.
So now we added this tone tag, and we're going to see how the laugh sounds. Well, I think. Is that the...
Yeah, it added this little... You see this little gray text here that says laughs, so that should indicate that it worked.
This is really great. Look at me.
It looks like an inline comment, though.
Let's try the bracket.
I just highlighted the... No, that didn't look like...
Nope. Oops. Let me see. It's been a while since I've done this. Tone tags.
This is really great. Look at me.
Are those the curly brackets?
Just regular brackets.
That should be working then.
Yeah, it did the laugh.
Oh, it did. Okay.
This is really great. Look at me.
There we go.
I thought it didn't generate perfect. Except it doesn't sound exactly like Vernon.
It doesn't. No.
So that's why it is in alpha. It's it's not going to be perfect. I think there are some issues where it would sometimes sound like different. It is the same AI speaker, but it has a different sort of generation path. But you can add different things. Like we can try. Why don't we try whispering it now as well?
Whispers. This is really fun. I could spend all day doing this.
You can make some silly things here.
Or serious things.
This is very serious.
Come on.
This is really great. Look at me.
I like how we're saying look at me, and there's nothing visual about this right now.
This is a good example of the earlier question where you're using write mode and it's just generating audio.
Right. So, there's nothing there. We did generate, at one point, we generated what we think Vernon looked like.
Yeah.
In an old video we made. That was about what I thought Vernon looked like.
I think it was
a guy in a rocking chair, just kind of hanging out by the fire pit,
just
the fireplace, reading a book.
Enjoying retirement.
All right. We got another question here. I'm making a lyric video for an artist. I uploaded the track and it was transcribed, but a few lyrics were off. When I correct them, the audio cuts out in the video. How do I fix that?
Fantastic question.
Definitely. It seems like you probably weren't correcting them through the right way if it was cutting out the video. So we'll show how to correct the text. And then if you were correcting it exactly like this, that does sound like a bug because it shouldn't. Though I will say in general, transcribing music you can upload anything you want into Descript as long as it's a supported file type, but transcribing music does make it a little tougher for our model to properly transcribe it and get the most accurate result. So corrections will be necessary for them, most likely. So we'll show you how to do this right now.
Yes. So most likely what you're probably attempting is, which is makes complete sense, is you're editing the script and let's say purple was wrong and you're deleting it. And then you're adding the correct text, like maybe entering write mode as well. I don't know why that's spaced out so weird. Interesting.
P-U-R-P-L-E, flower.
So like we mentioned earlier, when you enter write mode, this is creating new media using AI. So when we enter write mode, it's now a black frame because there's no video associated with this new media that we've generated. So in order to just correct the transcript, I'm going to undo all of that. What you're going to want to do is just highlight the word or phrase and just click correct right here. And this will just fix the transcript and not affect your media at all. So purple. Maybe that's a new word that I made. And that's how it's supposed to be spelled.
This is not the purple ocean.
It's purple. Yeah.
Purple.
And let's correct it to purple. And then you can see that the media is not being affected at all, just the spelling. I think there's a purple flower.
Yeah, and then if you have the captions, what captions do is captions will auto generate based on the transcription. So any changes, even after you added captions, if you make changes to the text, the captions will also automatically change. And that's how you can make changes to the captions, which if you're making a lyric video, that sounds exactly what you need to happen here.
And if you haven't added captions before, it's pretty straightforward. You're just going to want to go to your captions tab here to the right and then click one of these presets that we have. I've already just added one here. You can sort of see that added to the timeline. Let's find a place where I'm speaking. Am I zoomed in? Yep, I am. There we go. Blueberries are more purple. There we go. So if I fix this, if I correct it and put it back to purple, it'll update the captions as well. Or purple.
There it is.
There we go.
Purple.
Yeah, purple.
Awesome. So those were all of the questions we had so far. If we have any other questions, please feel free to send them down below. We'll be happy to answer them.
Keep them coming.
Otherwise, we can play around and talk about some common workflows, and maybe that will generate some new questions.
Let us do it.
Is there anything new that we want to demonstrate? I know we have a session about like changes on Wednesdays, but I wondered if there's anything that would be helpful for anyone fairly new to Descript, if they had that would generate some new questions. Yeah,
let's see.
Oh, just had to follow up. That's not what I was doing at all. Thank you. Okay, I'm glad. Well, I'm glad to get you on the right path there. Then that would make sense if you weren't doing that. But so hopefully, in moving forward, this will make it easy to correct your text for this.
That makes complete sense. So no worries at all. I've made that mistake like my first 3 months here. So.
Oh yeah, everyone does.
Edit like a Word document. But it's not doing it.
Yeah, I just deleted everything.
Exactly. Yeah, some couple of new features that I've been really liking so far are the color adjustments is a huge one. It's just a quick way to color grade your footage, especially for talking heads like this. So if you click on your layer and then under properties, you'll have this sort of new menu called color adjustments. And this gives you a quick way to apply a color palette to your video. So we have neutral, warm, cool, pop, and black and white. I'm a big fan of the warm one. Just adds this nice little warm hue to your videos. That's without warm. And you can even further adjust these settings. If you click on this little settings icon here, you can adjust the saturation, temperature, tint, white balance, all of the good stuff that you would need to get your colors right, which I thought was a really cool improvement. But other than that, we've been hard at work at adding some new generation models, I think. We've got a couple of new ones, so let's try some video. This is a good example for earlier where you're creating just speech and you need something to supplement your audio. And we have a lot of options here. We have Kling, Hilo, Cdance, Pixverse, VO, WAN, and this is going to show you an estimate of how much those will cost per video, just depending on the model. So I'm just going to stick with Kling V3 Pro. So let's just generate a purple ocean with a boat sailing across. And you could choose.
I always accidentally generate with audio, but we probably don't want.
Yeah, me too. I always do that.
I don't know what the audio is, but I definitely don't want to hear it.
Exactly. Some more settings here down below. You could choose the style. Let's go with cinematic. It's my favorite. And then the duration. A lot of these have max durations that you can generate, and I believe 15 seconds is sort of the cutoff. So let's go ahead and stick with that and generate.
If you want longer, you can use the extend video or use the last frame to generate from there.
Very, very handy. Apart from that, so while that's generating, we also have stock media that you can pull from, which doesn't cost AI credits. It'll get you in a good spot if you're just looking for something quick. Oh, okay, good. I was worried this would go away. But yeah, you could search for any terms. I doubt there's a stock purple ocean video, but I'm just going to type in ocean, for example, and you'll have a huge selection of videos that you can choose from. And to add that to your video, it's as easy as just dropping it into the script. And let that import. Huzzah. It's beautiful. Looks like we got a question. Awesome.
Yeah. So the Descript voiceover does not do a good job of my voice, as I have a Trinidadian accent. Hope I have pronounced that correctly. And which ElevenLabs does 95% accurate. How can I fix that? So it sounds like from when you're creating a speaker in Descript, based on the accent, it's just not generating properly. That's actually really great feedback. If you, I would love to hear sort of the results and the differences. If you actually want to submit either directly to us, you can share with the support team and just kind of show us how it's generating in ElevenLabs and how it's generating to us. We would love to hear the feedback on this, because I know that we probably have some feedback surrounding generation with all sorts of accents and all sorts of, like, if you have any sort of results differences between ElevenLabs or HeyGen and us, we'd love to hear the feedback, and we'd love to see the differences so we can pass it to the right team to hear this. As far as how can you fix that, what would you say about, as I guess the best practice is for, like, it's sort of, we can't control totally. If you are following our best practices, there's not a whole lot we can do to fix it. As far as recording in the best recording environment, so making sure you limit your background noise, limit the amount of echo, and have the best quality microphone you can to train your voice. There's not any additional training. It's just that consent statement is how to train it. So beyond that, if you are recording in the best quality environment, then there's not a great way to, like, fix it beyond that's just the results of our model at this time. But we are always improving, and if you do send us the results, we'd be happy to look into that and share with our team and flag to further improve, because we would like it to work as good as it can. And if it's working in one with ElevenLabs and not with our ElevenLabs integration, then I don't know, it's a little strange.
Yeah, that's definitely something we'd like to look into. I found that sometimes just really over enunciating when you're creating your AI speaker, just like can help, because it does sort of create a generic version of your voice just so it can be used across a lot of applications. So yeah, just trying to create different versions of your voice, just experiment. There really isn't any limit to how many AI speakers you can have. So
yeah, there's really no shortage of attempts you can have right now. I don't think we're gating that. The only thing we're gating is how much text to speech you generate, because it uses AI credits. But you can, well, I guess there's no way to test to hear your voice, correct, from the AI speakers tab. So you would just have to generate a little bit from there.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of credits you would use to test it out isn't going to be that much.
Yeah.
And as always, the best result for AI speakers, the best use case for your own AI speakers is with regenerate and with short bursts of text to speech. It's not the best to do a long form text to speech unless you are like a professional voice actor, because that's how our stock speakers were created, with very professional studio quality recording environments and people who can highly enunciate and dictate their words perfectly to create our stock speakers.
Yes, agree on all those points. So
and then where do I submit that with respect to the voiceover? As far as the support ticket, Alex in the chat just sent a link to share that. If you just want to include an example project of your generation that you are currently getting, and if you have a file, an export from another app that you were using to generate your voice, we'd love to just hear the comparison and pass that along. As far as just submitting to train your voice, we can go back to the AI speakers to show how to train again.
I'm going to go back to your drive view here, and then we're going to go to AI speakers here under tools. This is where you would create a new speaker. So I could create different versions of myself. For example, I already have one. And yeah, just experiment, over enunciate, be dramatic. Sometimes that can help compensate for things that might be missing. But definitely good feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, my video.
Any other? Oh, you're trying to still generate this. While this is generating, if you do have any more questions, please feel free to ask along. Oh, here we go. We have a question here from TD8269. Is it possible to record the AI prompt in ElevenLabs and upload that recording to train the AI in Descript?
Technically, yes, but you might see some inconsistent results because it's sort of, you're taking AI generated speech to generate a new AI speaker in Descript. So I mean, you could try it. It probably won't have the best results, but when you are creating an AI speaker in Descript, you can upload a file. So it's MP3 or WAV. Yeah, but for the most part, we do recommend just recording your voice, because that's what it was designed for, to model. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might also flag that. We have some auto flags for if the speaker does not match, like if it doesn't fully read the consent statement, if it sounds like an AI speaker, I think it just gets auto flagged rejected. Like if it's not a person. But if you are like with ElevenLabs, I don't know the training that's required, like the consent statement. But I believe you can't. I'm not sure it will work if you're trying to get your AI generated speech from ElevenLabs into Descript to generate. So that's why I recommend, if you have generated speech, you can export that as like an MP4 or an MP3 if it's just audio or something, or a .wav, and then import that into Descript and work with that. You won't be able to adjust it as far as adding additional text to it unless you generate new text to speech, but you can use it as an audio file just like you would a recording. Just a follow-up is that WZYETV, I can't upload a file to that email.
Yes. It's likely because of the file size. If you want,
Mm.
what you can do is just open up a new project in Descript, and
Mhm.
you can just drag your recording from ElevenLabs here, and then if you want, you could even create a new text to speech using Descript so we can compare it within that project, and then send us the project link that'll give you a way to work around that limitation. And to share a project link is you're going to just click on this plus button in the top right, and it's going to give you a copy link button. And once you click that, it's going to be copied to your clipboard. You could send that in your email. Yeah, great questions.
Yeah, all good questions so far. Keep them coming. All right,
Mhm.
did this generate? I want to see our ship.
There we go. Purple Ocean Boat. Great name. Hey. It's pretty nice.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm going to add that in. There we go. Beautiful. If you want to sort of adjust more accurately where you want your videos to show up, you could expand your timeline like this, and this will give you an overview of your layers. So you can just move these around as needed, have them placed where they should belong. You could even trim clips like this if they're too long, or extend them that way just by grabbing the edge like so.
So if I don't want to use the timeline, how can I shorten those clips?
Good question. Let's get to the script here. You can click on properties, and let me get to a point in that video where it shows up. I should have added scene boundaries. So I'm going to click on that beautiful footage that I've inserted. Let's go. And as it pops up here, you can click on it in the scene editor, and then under properties, you could adjust the starting point. How do I trim it though?
I think you would need to create a scene
Okay.
to trim it without it. So I think that's the best way is creating the scene and then deleting it from the second scene.
Gotcha.
So I don't think there is technically a way to trim it from the properties or script without doing that.
Yeah, scenes are a really powerful way to organize your videos. Let's say I just want to add a scene boundary here. So this whole section is going to act like its own part of the video. So now when I initially import that video, it's going to only attach to the scene. So that's a way to sort of work around it without having to edit it after the fact. You see that it's going to be just within the scene. Yeah, but like Trevor was saying, you could add a scene boundary and just delete the rest of it. So many purple boats.
So many purple boats. We got one more question follow up on this from this is about the voiceovers. Doesn't creating all the voiceovers eat up my credits? Yeah, so anytime you generate with text to speech, it's going to use credits. But we had Alex just respond that it will use the AI credits. We're happy to help out with this. This one, I'm just going to say the best way for your current case, just because we can't hear the results and we don't know exactly based on what we say, we can give the general best practices, but we don't know exactly how it's sounding and exactly the differences. So that's why I was recommending reaching out directly to support with the project link, and we can also guide you from there how to do that. Do we want to show how to get in touch with support live again?
Sure, yeah.
Who wants to make an appearance?
Gonna click on the question mark in the top right, and then you're gonna have this contact support button. It should, I don't think you're gonna be able to see it, but there's gonna be a pop-up. Wow, there we go. And you just type in agent. It should bypass any AI chatbot. And from here, you're gonna have some fields to fill out. Inquiry. My AI speech doesn't sound as good as ElevenLabs. And then you would just attach the project link like I showed earlier, which you can grab by clicking this plus button and copying the link. So that would be the best way that we can get one-on-one attention for that.
We didn't say hi.
Oh no, I closed out.
It's okay. We don't have to bother them right now.
Yeah, bother the rest of the team.
If you do chat in, if you have a paid plan, you can chat in to us, and we'll be live chatting. Is from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time on weekdays, and we respond pretty immediately, and we're able to look at your projects if you send us them and look at logs, basically anything in depth that we can do. And if anything, it needs a little bit more time to troubleshoot, we can take it offline to email, and we will always make sure to keep you updated as we investigate the issues.
Yes. We love to help, that's for sure. But yeah, great questions, everyone. Keep them coming. If you have any more that pop up, please feel free to drop them in. Any cool tools that you've been playing around with lately?
Not particularly, unfortunately. I haven't done a whole lot of like new fun features. Most of the stuff is just general audio editing outside of our stuff that we do. I think the transitions, like new transitions, are cool, and how those show. If you want to show the new visual for the transitions previously, before, do you know the transitions?
I don't think I do.
You made a face. You're like, hmm?
We have new transitions?
I don't even know if they're new, but they're just different. So if you press the hourglass, the edit transition, now we have these icons of transitions.
Preview. Yes. Okay, you're right.
And you can hover over them to see what they look like, which is new. And I think there actually is a couple of new different transitions. So this is very nice and fun, because transitions, especially smart transitions, can really open the door to some really fascinating and cool animations. And that's how you can get some, basically how to animate within Descript.
Oh, wow.
Without having animating.
Apply to all.
Change the direction. Yeah, you can do all sorts of cool stuff. So playing around with those has been fun, but I haven't had like a project to apply them to, sadly. I need to look for the next video project I'm going to play with. We do have a question real quick here. And yeah, we can definitely demonstrate this. Can you demonstrate recording screen and camera in Rooms? We get 2 tracks. Do we want to do just a quick Rooms demo of showing how to record in Rooms with? I can also join, and then we can record. We can actually record it with a screen recording, and then we can open up the project and show how it looks.
Yeah,
cool.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
So Rooms is our remote recording solution. So if you have experience with Zoom and Squadcast, which is another app that we have, it's just a great way to record your podcasts, interviews, anything like that in high quality with separate tracks for everyone, which gives you a lot of control over the editing process. So to start a Rooms recording, you're going to click on record and then record with others. And this takes you to your room as a member of a drive. If you're the only one on the drive, this will just be the same room. And you'll be greeted with the sort of setup page to make sure your camera's on, camera selection, microphone is right. And once everything looks good, we're just going to go ahead and click join. So now I'm in my room and I can invite guests. So I'm going to copy this link and send it to Trevor really quick. Where are you, Slack?
Well, let me join from here. I'm going to join on my end.
Yes. Cool thing about this link is it's persistent. It'll never change. So you can.
So I press request. Now we're here.
Hello.
I'm going to mute myself on the. Okay, so now I'm just coming in on this end.
Do that too. Okay, so
I'm hearing myself. Okay, let's record.
I'm going to share my screen. Let me get a new window.
Do you want to mute yourself on the stream? Okay, nice. Or are we recording? Okay. Perfect. What are we going to Google today? Oh, okay. How to Train a Dragon. I don't want the movie. I want to learn how to train a dragon. Click these 5 steps. Do these 5. You can just watch it. We can go to the Wikipedia page.
It is important that you wait for these uploads to complete. So once you get this green check mark and everything looks good, you can click dot it and you are now safe
Yep.
to leave the session. And the cool thing is once you exit out, it's going to create a new project for you with those files.
We had a quick question from TD. Can a guest in rooms also share their screen? Yes. Yes. If you saw on my end, I could also share my screen. I was a guest, but I did not. It's definitely possible. And if there are some other capabilities with the roles in rooms, we're not going to dive too deep into roles in rooms specifically. I believe our webinar this Thursday is rooms dedicated. So if you are looking to learn a little bit more about rooms, we have a webinar this Thursday at 12 p.m. Pacific time that you can learn a little bit more about rooms.
So make room.
So make room in your schedule to learn about rooms.
There we go.
Very nice. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
But we'll wait for this to transcribe.
Ah, beautiful. All right.
Why is there 2 of your screen share?
Yeah, what the?
Uh-oh.
Okay, just needed a second to
Okay.
update. I was like, what?
No one saw anything.
That was nothing.
It was a mistake.
Just things, just bits and
Just
data.
bits and data.
Zeros and ones.
Zeros and ones. Zeros and ones.
Zeros and ones.
Oh, what fun.
So as you can see, this created a new project right after the recording, and it placed all of my files into this sequence for me. If I just wanted to see where all those files live, if you head to your project tab, there's this folder called recordings, and then this is going to be the room session that we just had. Typically shows the date and time, and you can find your individual files here. So for some reason, if you want to download these to your computer just for safekeeping, you can certainly do that. And there's backup files here for everything. One thing to note with backup files, the audio and video are their own separate files. So in case you do need to use them, just keep that in mind that you'll need both the audio and video for each one. But yeah, here they are. There's Trevor, myself, and the screen recording. So these are all independent, high quality files that I can just play with to my heart's content. I don't know what's happening here. Probably because Restream was going on, something funky happened with my webcam. But
Oh, now all 3 of us are the screen recording.
I'm just going to refresh this real quick.
No. Yeah, probably just needs a refresh. Or not.
Or not.
Okay, yeah. What? With these 5 steps.
I think I saw something.
We are now. This is a good chance. If you encounter something like this is a good opportunity to reach out to the support team to say what is going on. Okay, yeah. It seems like it's. I don't know if it's, things are still processing, but it seemed like it's just a visual. Yeah, this is bizarre.
This is the weirdest.
I have never seen this happen before.
I'm just gonna add the sequence back and see that. No, didn't do anything at all.
How to train a dragon?
How do I train a dragon? Weird.
How
But
do
if you view the files, they're all.
Yeah, all the files are fine.
Yeah.
So that one's fine. Check yours because yours seems to be. Let me try opening this one up.
Sure.
On my end. This is we're going to show you how we live troubleshoot here. This is the one that was just created, or
Yeah.
was it in the general or is it private? No, I found it. I'm on my end now. I'm opening this project up, and now if you actually see, this is a good see. You see how the TH over there? That's me. That's me.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, there's my cursor.
Whoa.
Oh, we're moving things now. We're having a great time. Okay, so it looks fine to me, but it's still, I guess, on the scene bottom. What are we? It's not the scene rail anymore,
Scene.
but it is
Thumbnail?
scene time. I don't know the scenes. What if I go to the? That didn't help. All right. Well, it looks fine on my end. So largely, that's fun.
Yeah, that's fun. That is weird.
Well, the good thing about this is recorded and we can pass this to the right team.
Yeah. Whoa. Let's pretend like these are normal.
Yeah, let's pretend like these are normal. I hope that answered your question. This shouldn't generally happen, but it did on our end.
It's our first time encountering it. So weird. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's move past that, and we will take a look at this offline and flag to the proper team, because this looks like a brand new experience, a whole new world, a whole new bug, a brand new way to break.
I'm gonna apply a layout to this.
Yeah, maybe this helps.
Looks like. So if you haven't played with layouts before, they're a great way to quickly apply. They're basically templates to your scenes. So I'm gonna apply a layout to this.
That's how I feel as well, TD.
Let's go with this.
I feel the same way.
Okay, that seems to have fixed some things, but I'm just gonna swap this source.
Yeah, and Alex was just saying, probably because we had this and we were sharing our screen. You're sharing your screen in multiple different applications, and we're sharing our microphone and camera in multiple applications. That probably happened. Like something weird happened. So I would imagine that's the case, but it is super strange. I think we should move off this project. Something happened here.
Curse it.
It's cursed. We'll uncurse it for next week.
We're gonna dive into that.
Like this is the kind of thing that we're happy if you write into, like, what is happening with my project, and we will take a look.
Yes,
that's fun. We got about 5 minutes left, so if we have any remaining questions, now's the time to ask. Otherwise, like always, we are here next week at 11 a.m. on Pacific time, Tuesday, specifically, the best day of the week. I actually don't think Tuesday is the best day of the week. I don't know why I said that. What is the best day of the week?
I like Tuesdays. Tuesdays are like my Wednesdays, I suppose. So.
Oh yeah, because you don't work Fridays.
Tuesdays, that's right.
Cool.
But if I had to pick Monday.
That's the best day of the week?
It's the best day of the week.
Interesting. But Monday is your Tuesday.
That's right. Even if it weren't, though. Just Mondays in general.
Even if it weren't. All right. Well, that's sort of closing things off for today. Just one more final call out is we have, and I'll call it out again next week, is we have our telethon next week, Thursday and Friday. So please book your calendars, make room in your calendars for our telethon. It's all of like the questions and request board I think is closed at this point, but you can still take a look at what we might be working on. It should be really cool. It's the first time we're doing something like this. I'm very curious and excited for how it's going to pan out, and I look forward for everyone else to watch and enjoy. And we might make an appearance, we might not, but we'll be there answering your questions regardless. Yeah. Anything else you want to leave everyone with today?
Go forth and edit.
Go forth and edit. And most of all, have a great rest of the Tuesday.
Have a good one.